ladies, and indeed the gentlemen allies, I think is the word of today. Good morning, and thank you for letting me say a few words, but the emphasis on few, I've been told by the organisers it must be, just to kick off today's wonderful conference. Inevitably, I just want to start by saying thank you to those who've brought it together. So Paris, thank you for steering us through today, and indeed to the Pathway Group for actually having the idea of bringing this conference together and then delivering it. I'm told it is the biggest event for International Women's Day in the country. I'm sure there'll be others who compete with that, but those of us in Birmingham like to do biggest and best. So it's brilliant that we've done that. And if you look at, it's gone down now, but if you look at the array of wonderful, mostly female leadership speakers today, it genuinely looks like an incredible lineup that you've put together. So to Edwin and Kasim, thank you very much for what you've done. And of course, to our sponsors as well. But the reason I wanted to come along and support the Pathway Group today was, of course, it's International Women's Day, but the theme of this year's International Women's Day is, of course, all about inspiring inclusion. And that is the theme that the Pathway Group work to all year round. It's not just about today, 365 days a year. And so, for example, they're working with us on our new scheme about paying for people to move into level 2 apprentices and really working to make sure that is the most inclusive program possible. So the theme is about inclusion, and I did just want to reflect a little bit on some of the programs that the Combined Authority is trying to lead to make that happen. And please, I'm not standing here saying we're the exemplar, but just one or two things that I hope we are getting right in the spirit of today's theme. So, of course, the first thing is let's look at our own organisation, the West Midlands Combined Authority. And I'm very proud to say, and I say this every year at International Women's Day, that our leadership at the most senior levels of the Combined Authority is overwhelmingly female. I know we still have a big challenge with political leadership across the West Midlands. Our board is very much male-led. I can't do anything about that in the short term. That is the people who are democratically elected to lead their councils. But if you look at the executive of the Combined Authority, it is overwhelmingly female-led. And the nice thing is that was the case when we started 7 years ago. And as roles have come round and they've been renewed, they overwhelmingly have been filled by exceptional women leadership again. And if you look through our organisations, we're actually, I think, an exemplar in terms of that women in leadership roles. If we go a little beyond our own organisation and look at some of the things we're trying to do across the region, and the first thing I'd call out is about economic inclusion in the theme of today, and particularly economic inclusion for disempowered ethnic minority women. And again, I'm not saying this is, of course, the whole solution, but something I'm genuinely proud of, being steered by our Race Equalities Task Force to actually say we need to build that inclusion up from community hubs. And the first one that we are funding is in Walsall, a wonderful organisation called the AINA Hub in the Karma district of Walsall, an area that is challenged, as people will know, and it's women-led for females in the community, and we're now funding that, looking to see if this whole theory of building up strength from the ground can actually work through. And then if I look at our training and skills budget, now that's a lot of money, £170 million we spend now every year on that. It's grown every year as the government has poured more money into us on the basis of the results that we've achieved. But the thing we don't often shout about enough is the majority of that money goes to women, and the majority within that goes to women of colour. And the reason that we are doing that is that we're trying to make sure that money goes where the opportunities are least, and we're trying obviously to raise aspirations and raise performance in those areas. And I'm particularly pleased to say that we've got a number of organisations that very much focus on women as their clients. So a lovely one that I often call out because I think their work is genuinely inspiring. Organisation like Neo Enterprises that work with us on our digital bootcamp specifically for black women. And then if you look at another area of our responsibility, and thing that we've really tried to focus on over the last year, this question of safety for women and girls. We know the crime issues in the West Midlands are very challenging, but one area where we have direct responsibility, of course, is safety on public transport, the resources that we're putting into our transport safety officers there, and we're seeing crime on our public transport network falling. And that's particularly important to give women confidence to use the network. And then a recent innovation we've brought forward, launched in Coventry about a month ago, our Women's Nighttime Safety Charter, working with those who are leading nighttime economy work and saying what do organisations, what do public authorities have to do to give women confidence to really enjoy the nighttime economy. And again, people have come forward to sign up to the charter, use all the technology devices that there are to help give women confidence in that respect as well. So I'm pleased we've done that with the sector. And then again, trying to get something practical out of today. This afternoon, on this whole idea of women taking a bigger role in entrepreneurship and improving career opportunities, we'll be running a whole suite of activities this afternoon through our skills team downstairs, trying to get women who perhaps don't have the opportunities for that entrepreneurial leadership involved in programs there. So I hope out of today, there won't just be a great conference with great speakers. I hope there will be people who look back and say, yeah, I got my opportunity in one of our careers programs to actually kickstart my entrepreneurial career today. If we achieve that, that will indeed be living up to the spirit of this year, all about inspiring inclusion. Thank you very much for your part in today's success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy.